Alright, my name is Zachary Bush. The date is June 26, 2023. Here's my student ID, course ID, and the name of the experiment I'm doing. I'm doing the antibiotic sensitivity Kirby-Bauer diffusion test. And here are my results. So the premise of the experiment is basically to understand antibiotic sensitivity. You take a bacteria, expose it to different antibiotics, and see how it reacts. See whether the antibiotic kills off the bacteria, see whether the bacteria is resistant to the antibiotic, and based off that information, a healthcare provider could make a decision on what antibiotic to give their patient. So that's the kind of the real world application of this test. That's the um, most common use for it in the real world. But with that being said, let's kind of get into the results of it. As you can see, there's 3 tablets in there. You got one towards the top, one and 2 towards the base. 2 circles around the 2 on the base, the small and a big one. So the tablet on the top is a penicillin tablet. The 3 different antibiotics in here are 2 different types of antibiotics. Penicillin is a bactericidal antibiotic, which means it goes in and just kills the bacteria. It doesn't try to stop replication and in that way kill it. It just goes in and tries to end the bacteria. Whereas both novabiocin and gentamicin, both of those are bacteriostatic, which means that it stops replication, and once replication stops, the bacteria can't reproduce, so it just, in that way, it kills it. So they go about their job differently, but accomplish the same result. And in that way, that's kind of the difference. But as you can see, penicillin did not do very much. It did not stop any growth, and the bacteria grew all around it. I didn't expect it personally. I expected all 3 of them to do their job. I, especially since penicillin works well against gram-positive bacteria, and SC is a gram-positive bacteria, I expected it to work well. But that's why we do the experiments. So moving on to novabiocin, the smaller circle, right up towards the top. As you can see, it works. I'm trying to get good light on this thing, man, but it's tough. There we go. That's the best way. But as you can see, it works pretty well. It's not as effective as gentamicin, but it does work well. It's able to keep the bacteria at bay and kill it. Not as effectively or with as much flair as gentamicin, but it does the job and it accomplishes its purpose of stopping the bacteria from reproducing, which in turn kills it. Moving on to gentamicin. As you can see, go low. That's the way it worked better last time. As you can see, big old circle around that one. So it killed the bacteria for a very, very large diameter. I believe the diameter that I measured was 3.5 millimeters, whereas the gentamicin was maybe 1.7 millimeters. So in that, it's a very big difference, almost a 100% size increase in regards to the effectiveness of killing the bacteria within a diameter. But this antibiotic was by far the most effective at killing off the bacteria. I wasn't really sure which one would be the most effective, but yeah, I don't think that there was really a bacteria that I was 100% like, all right, this one should be it, because they all had their own merits, and all of them seemed like they had a good reason to be effective against the bacteria, but it all comes down to the little intricacies of each antibiotic. In conclusion, I would say that it was a fairly simple experiment. I'd say that it was fairly easy to understand and fairly easy to complete. It didn't take too long to start and finish. It was interesting to learn about the different antibiotics and how they work and what their purposes are and how they go about different ways to accomplish the same purpose. But overall, I think that this experiment went fairly well. My hypothesis didn't quite go as planned because I anticipated that all three antibiotics, excuse me, would be used to great effect, whereas only two of them were. But other than that, I think it went very well. Thank you.